The sound nobody wants to hear, gunshots.
Most times children playing, it's a beautiful day, just come out and enjoy yourself.
But as the sun set and the darkness of night took over Saturday, police say they got several calls about kids being shot in this Annapolis neighborhood.
Gunshots went off up the street and a lot of kids, a lot of people was running.
Investigators say a 14-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl were hit. Police tell WUSA 9 the boy is in stable condition while the 10-year-old girl is in serious but stable condition. We asked a dozen neighbors about what happened to tell us about this community and how they felt a day after 2 children were shot. Only one agreed to speak to us if we concealed his identity.
A day after a 10-year-old and a 14-year-old is shot. No one wants to talk. So you know they're not talking to the police. No one knows anything. No one knows anything about the incident, what happened, nothing. Everybody just like... What kind of community is this? This is why I don't allow... Well, I mockingly call it the community. But... It's just, what type of place is this? And it's like this everywhere. Everywhere this group is, it's the same way. Everybody hooded up, head down. I don't know nothing, man. I ain't see nothing. I have no information. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. I've lived in these communities. However, these are the same people that would march and protest. I mean, they would have signs. Hobby Lobby, AC Moore, Michaels, every arts and crafts store you can think of would be out of stock if whoever shot that 14-year-old and that 10-year-old got shot by a cop while resisting arrest during a lawful due arrest. Justified arrest. These people would be in the streets. That's what I'm talking about. Like, if they just didn't, if they was just like this, no, these people activate. When they activate, they activate. And they can bring this country to a standstill. They can get the attention of politicians. They can have protests in other countries for people who were shot by cops in America. They can raise millions and millions of dollars. So it's not as if these people don't have any power. Two kids from the community that these people most likely seen playing. May know the parents. I ain't see nothing, man. I don't know. I ain't see nothing, man. Don't film me, man.
Only one agreed to speak to us if we concealed his identity.
But it's just a surprise because it's a child.
Police arrested 41-year-old John Eastep. They say he turned himself in. He's facing 7 criminal charges, according to police, including 2 counts of first-degree assault. But police say he was released on a personal recognizance bond.
Personal recognizance. I wonder if you guys know what that means. Now, this isn't D.C., but in D.C., they don't have bonds and bail. So they either keep you or they release you on personal recognizance. Personal recognizance It's nothing. You pay nothing. You owe nothing. There's no if you jump bail, if you don't show up for your court date, your family don't got to give up the house. It's nothing. Personal recognizance is exactly what it says. Personal recognizance. This guy was just released. And the parents, the loved ones of the family who live in that neighborhood, got to see this guy pull up, park his car, and go in the house. While they outside, like probably having, maybe like, just family. Because, family all come to the house and stuff. After something like this happened, everybody show up. The neighborhood's probably buzzing. Everybody outside, talking about it. Oh my God, can you believe what happened? Oh my God, I hope the kid's okay, yada yada. And this fool pull up in his car. Park. What? She. Go in the house. He might come back out on the porch and smoke a Newport. Might walk to the corner store. Because brothers we don't have that. We don't have, we don't read rooms or what. We terrible at reading rooms. Like tact and, just, things like we don't have that. It just, do we? Like, come on. It's like, some of these things I know brothers is like, man, you saying that, man. Do we have that? No. Okay, then. So this brother probably ain't hiding this. He ain't got his shades drawn. This brother right is going about like it's normal.
Police arrested 41-year-old John Eastep. They say he turned himself in. He's facing 7 criminal charges, according to police, including 2 counts of first-degree assault. But police say he was released on a personal recognizance bond. Meanwhile, bullet holes can be seen from 2 windows at this house on O'Berry Court. Neighbors say the bullets that hit the 2 children came from inside, but police would not confirm or deny this information. The neighbor we spoke with says the pandemic has shifted the sense of community in this neighborhood.
The pandemic has shifted the sense of community in this. Whatever. It was the summer of Floyd and the Blackistanian spring. Nothing to do with the pandemic, nothing. These people, listen. Oh my gliders, come here, man. Some people already know this. Gliders, come here. Who don't, frequent Sun communities, man. Gliders, come here. March, April, May, June of March, April, May, before, the Floyd protest, 2020, March, April, May of that year, when the lockdowns came and the stay-in-place order and social distance and all that stuff, you could go to a Sun community and you wouldn't know any of that was going on. You wouldn't know there was a pandemic. Easter egg hunts, cookouts, the whole 9, everywhere. You wouldn't have known. If you went to a hood anywhere in America, you wouldn't have known. These people ain't been, they never social distanced. They might have worn masks. That's probably the only thing. You would have seen a few people walking with masks. You'd be like, what's going on? Why are these people wearing masks? Other than that, some people never social distance. They never stayed in place. They never locked down. They never quarantined. None of that stuff. This stuff is the entitlement and the emboldenment of the Sun man because of the Blackistanian spring and the summer of Floyd.
The neighbor we spoke with says the pandemic has shifted the sense of community in this neighborhood.
You didn't have to worry about too much. Everybody was a little bit safer. The kids were safe. They were always being watched, even when they're not being watched.
And the negative impacts may be irreversible. In Annapolis, Megan Rivers, WUSA 9.
Police say they didn't expect the shooter, John Estep, to be free pending trial because what he admits to doing goes beyond self-defense.
The police are doing their jobs. It's the prosecutors and the judges. The one group that got all the flack is the only group still doing their jobs. Salute to the police officers.
Police say they didn't expect the shooter, John Estep, to be free pending trial because what he admits to doing goes beyond self-defense.
We have 2 juveniles shot. We have a homeowner who felt under siege in his own home.
Bullet holes in a front window and a side window are the only thing left of the crime scene. Police tell us John Estep admitted to opening fire from inside his home after a group of kids started relentlessly banging on his door and a window.
What a nice looking neighborhood, man. It doesn't, listen. We need better housing to make you feel better. The reason it's so much crime is because you look outside and you see all this rundown housing and all you see is we don't have any green space, no grass. None of that stuff matters. But so the kids were banging on his door and banging on his window. I did a video about this. It's a social media trend that I thought came and went. Kids just like bang, like it's kind of like they like even kick like your door, like just and then run, and it'd be groups of them. I thought this would pass, but obviously they're still doing it. You know, now that I think about it, man, kind of, you don't know what anybody's going through when you run up on their door and do that. This may be a good thing. May make the next group of kids think twice.
Police tell us John Estep admitted to opening fire from inside his home after a group of kids started relentlessly banging on his door and a window. Authorities say this is the second time it happened within an hour. Police charging documents show Estep told investigators the kids were making threats, and one broke into the home. He says he feared for his safety and grabbed his 9mm handgun.
Hey, man. And we know with these kids, like if any of them were 15, 16, or 17, they might have bodies. In a city like Annapolis, a state like Maryland, those kids already got bodies. At the very least, have done multiple carjackings and home invasions. The type of kids that would be involved in something like this. I'm starting to see why they let them out. I mean, look. They don't call it Murderland for no reason.
The kids were making threats, and one broke into the home. He says he feared for his safety and grabbed his 9mm handgun.
I hit the bathroom floor when I heard the bullets.
This neighbor does not want to be identified.
As shocking as this is, it really is not surprising. We have a group of adolescents, some of them maybe 9, 10, 12 years old, that just rule the roost back here. And, they finally harassed somebody who couldn't take it anymore.
Oh, so it's not the story that we were, kids just being the 9 to 12-year-olds rule the roost back there. So, of course, the obvious question is, where are their parents? Where are their parent? Where is their parent? That's the question. Where is their parent? Where is their mom? Because if you got a bunch of 9 to 12-year-olds, I could understand 15, 16, 17-year-olds running the neighborhood. When you have some prepubescent kids that can't even turn on the stove, they can't even fix themselves something to eat. Earlier, when I remarked on the houses and the decor, the architecture, and how modern and new and it looks, that means nothing, right? Section 8, man. Moving a bunch of Section 8 moms. Housing subsidies moms. Program moms. And this is what I tell you guys all the time. I tell you, it doesn't take many of them. In a neighborhood like this, let's just say this neighborhood has 100 units. 10 Section 8 moms. What's that, about 45, 50 kids? Along with the other families that have kids. Add that to that. And it wouldn't matter if the fathers was George Floyd or Rayshard Brooks. I just don't think 9 to 12-year-olds would run a neighborhood. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Because the police, there's nothing the police can do. The police can't keep these kids. Police can arrest these kids. Then it's, they putting handcuffs on a 9-year-old. Somebody out there with their cell phone camera, recording it, it goes viral. The officer gets fired. The police department comes under scrutiny. Politicians got to make statements. They handcuffing 9-year-olds. They wouldn't do that in another community. Why when it's our kids? So all the cops can do is take these kids down to the receiving home or station, the youth center, and call their parents and have them come pick them up or drop them off at their house. There's really nothing you can do to the kids this young. It's a strange community. Gliders. Crouching tigers. Hombritos. Do you have neighborhoods where 9 to 12-year-olds are running things and terrorizing adults with impunity?
I hit the bathroom floor when I heard the bullets.
This neighbor does not want to be identified.
As shocking as this is, it really is not surprising. We have a group of adolescents, some of them maybe, 9, 10, 12 years old, that just rule the roost back here. And, they finally harassed somebody who couldn't take it anymore.
A 14-year-old boy was shot twice. Police say he's out of the hospital. A 10-year-old girl has a gunshot wound to the back. Cameras spotted her running away from gunfire. She remains stable. Police found evidence of a break-in and 22 spent shell casings.
The number of casings indicate that he had to reload his weapon. And also there's area video surveillance that we're still recovering that shows that the juveniles immediately fled the area when the shots started. When people are fleeing, there's no longer imminent danger.
Yeah, but these ain't people. These are son preteens, man. These are sister spawns, man. These are sister spawns, man. These are Guns R Us kids. These ain't people, man.
That shows that the juveniles immediately fled the area when the shots started. When people are fleeing, there's no longer imminent danger.
Estep told police he also fired warning shots into the ground as he left his house and got into his car and left. Neighbors we spoke to believe the situation could have been handled differently.
I had a couple of kids bang on my door, but then I come out here and say something to them, and then they just scared. Get away from my house.
Yeah, but Kim, how dare this woman criticize the way that brother handled this, man? How dare this woman criticize the way this man handled this? I salute this brother. I applaud this brother, man. Shame on you, sister, for coming out. The only person that will put their face on the camera. Now, after they know it wasn't a thug, it's not a Pookie and a Ray Ray. It's just a regular guy that was getting terrorized by teens. Okay, now we can come out and show our faces and put our faces behind statements. If this was some Pookie and Ray Rays, everybody was, that's why at the beginning, everybody was, they didn't know who did it. Now everybody knows it was that guy who was Mr. Johnson. No, yeah, man, he shouldn't have did that, man. That's messed up, man. All they had to do was come outside, tell them to get away. But what they're not telling you is that he called the police. The first time the police came, the kids ran. Then, that's why they got mad, because he called the police on them. Then they came back, kicked his door down, and entered his home. That's what they're not telling you. And I bet this sister probably don't know that. So I give her a break on that, but still, it wouldn't even matter if she knew the whole story. These kids are terrorizing this neighborhood. And everybody's just supposed to take crap off of Sun people.
I had a couple of kids bang on my door, but then I come out here and say something to them, and then they just scared. Get away from my house.
According to police, Estep legally owned the gun. He could not be reached for comment. A preliminary hearing is tentatively scheduled for March 16th. Reporting from Annapolis, David Collins, WBAL TV 11 News.